Cartoon Obsession. Hello everybody, my name is Nathan, and I am the man with a cartoon obsession. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving as we close out the month of November. A couple weeks ago I talked about the obscure anime you guys voted on, so now it's time to talk about the obscure cartoon you guys voted on. So let's just get right into my review of Kenny the Shark.
I want Kenny the Shark.
When do we eat?
Later, Kenny.
Honey, she's talking to that shark again.
Kenny the Shark is a cartoon that was created by Jack Huber and produced by Discovery Kids. It premiered on Discovery Kids on NBC on November 1st, 2003, and ended on February 19th, 2005. It also aired on the actual Discovery Kids channel. The show ran for 2 seasons and consisted of 26 episodes. The series follows Kenny, an anthropomorphic tiger shark, who gets tired of being a predator and ends up living with Cat Cassidy and her family. I'm sure someone's thinking it, so I'll just say it. No, sharks can't breathe on land, but they also can't walk or talk, and need I even mention that sharks aren't as easy to keep in captivity as the show makes it seem, so don't try to apply real-world logic to it. I will say it's ironic that there's an episode where Cat is angry about a movie that shows an unrealistic portrayal of a shark, when this series shows an unrealistic portrayal of a shark. That might have been on purpose, but honestly I don't really care. A child having an anthropomorphic animal friend is far from a new concept, even when this show came out. It also has that old trope of the main character understanding the animal but the rest of the family can't. Apparently Cat can speak shark, which is a skill that she was able to learn somehow. It doesn't make much sense that Cat tells other people what Kenny says, but when she talks to her parents, she pretends that he doesn't talk. It just feels inconsistent to me, and quite honestly, that's a word I can use to describe a lot of things about this show. Here's another example. They make it very clear that Kenny has no interest in eating humans, yet he chases people on more than one occasion. There are some outside factors in these instances though, like one guy he chased worked with seals, so he had their scent, and Kenny also chases delivery men because, I don't know. They never give a reason for that one. He has eaten Cat's dad before too because he hadn't been fed, but he spat him out immediately. Plus he does threaten to eat people an awful lot. They're pretty inconsistent with him not being interested in harming other creatures. Not to mention some of the characters in the show just treat a shark walking around like no big deal. Some of them don't even show any sort of fear. Another inconsistency about the show is that Cat's brother, Carl, knows what birds are, but he calls Kenny Doggy. I don't get it. He is a baby though, so I can let that slide, I guess. Speaking of Carl and sticking with the theme of inconsistency, he's only seen in a few episodes. He isn't even seen in the Family Vacation episode. He isn't even mentioned in it. It feels like the creators just forgot about the character entirely. I guess I should get into the characters now. Well, there's Kenny. He's a tiger shark who eats a lot and causes a lot of trouble for his family in every episode. Then there's Cat, who likes sharks. And that's about it.
I'm your strange obsession that makes you so unique.
True.
Every time Kenny causes trouble, Cat gets blamed for it because her parents think he's just an ordinary shark, or at least ordinary in the show's world. Her parents are not that interesting either. Her mother, Grace, is a psychologist and really doesn't have much else going on, and her father, Peter, is an avid vegetarian who owns an organic grocery store. As you can tell, these characters are pretty one-dimensional. For example, Cat's friend Oscar has to remind us of his Mayan heritage in pretty much every episode that he's in. And it's not like it's just one line per episode either. It's essentially his only defining character trait.
I am sorry if my heritage bores you.
Honestly, Kenny's the only character who has any sort of personality, at least until he starts to repeat the same tropes like his obsession with food, especially seal pops or seal in general. Or a bunch of stuff that's not even real food. Although he does have the sharpest wit in the show.
Ah! Thought you'd get away, huh? No one escapes Super Kenny!
There's also Marty, I guess. He has somewhat of a personality.
When it comes to the ladies, I got all the poop. No pun intended.
I didn't say he had a deep personality. I also like Captain Ahern, but I'm a sucker for sea captain character types. Plus, he's voiced by Jim Cummings, who's one of my favorite voice actors. Really though, a lot of the characters in this show act really stupid. Most of them don't know anything about sharks, even basic knowledge. Not to mention they all seem to lack any sort of common sense. For example, in one episode, Kat and Kenny are convinced that he ate Oscar because he wasn't at school the next day, despite him complaining that his stomach was bothering him the night before. I get that Kenny thinking he ate Oscar was the plot of the episode, but when it's clearly pointed out to the other characters what actually happened before the misunderstanding, it just makes them look really dumb. The more I watch this show, the less I like the characters. Kenny ruins everything, Kat doesn't know how to treat him half the time, and all the other characters are just so boring. A lot of the episodes get rather predictable. There are a lot of episodes where Kat's parents say Kenny either needs to stop causing trouble or they'll send him back to the ocean, but of course the problem gets resolved only for Kenny to cause another problem in another episode. Obviously her parents wouldn't take any real disciplinary action in a children's cartoon, so you can tell what's going to happen. The show also gets repetitive. There are 3 episodes where the plot is Kat and or Kenny getting a job to pay for something that Kenny either ate or broke. There are many episodes that are okay or mediocre, but boy oh boy, are there episodes that I absolutely despise. Mr. Popularity and Revenge of the Shark absolutely suck. Mr. Popularity showed just how stupid some of these characters can be. The Phoebes, the bland popular girls, saw a movie where a shark was depicted as sweet and innocent, so they automatically think every shark is sweet and innocent, and almost get eaten by a shark due to their ignorance. As for Revenge of the Shark, this kid Myron, who's a shark enthusiast, wants to observe Kenny. How does he do that, you ask? By beating the ever-loving crap out of Kenny every time it gets near him, and when he's called out on it, he cries like a baby. I don't sympathize with this moron at all. In fact, I loathe him, and I'm glad he's only in that one episode. I realize I've been pretty negative so far, so I should say some of the positives I found in the series. Well, the animation isn't bad. They do cut some corners in obvious ways. There was a redesign in Season 2, nothing drastic, but Kenny looks a little more realistic as his head is more rounded and the shape of his mouth changed too, and other characters' designs are slightly different as well. A weird thing I noticed is half the time, even when characters are angry, they're still smiling. I don't know if there's a reason for that, but it just confused me. However, that aside, I don't hate the way the show looks. The show does have some funny moments, but that's really the highlight. Oh, and the show does give you a lot of tiger shark facts, and from the ones I looked up, they seem to be fairly accurate.
My dad taught me how to maul seals with my bare teeth. Those were happy, happy days.
Are you kidding? Sharks abandon their young.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest. This show was a chore to get through. When this won the viewer poll, I was excited to watch it and talk about it because I vaguely remembered it from when I was a kid, and I saw an episode on TV a few months ago and thought it was okay. But man oh man, this was rough. I already said what problems I had with the show, but to sum it up, my main issue with the show is that it doesn't have any sense of logic. I don't care that it has sharks walking and talking and all this other stuff, but one episode, Kenny won't eat people. Another episode, he almost does, or at least threatens to. He would never harm another creature, but he's looking to eat seals because he can't resist them. Kat's parents like Kenny, then they don't. Then they want to get rid of him. Then they say they'll never get rid of him. In one episode, people are screaming and running away from Kenny when he's out in public. In another episode, they act like it's no big deal. The show never makes up its mind. Not to mention the idiotic and boring characters that I already talked about. If you haven't seen this show before, I can't recommend that you check it out. Obviously, it will be up to you, but I would just skip it personally. Overall, I give Kenny the Shark a 47 out of 100. Clearly, I was not a fan of this show. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but I'm just glad this video is over, and I'll never have to watch this show again.
Just give me a minute to throw up.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you have any other cartoons, anime, or other animated works that you want me to talk about in the future, please let me know. After all, it's not my channel, it's our channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and feel free to check out my social media pages, audition for an outro, and to join the official Cartoon Obsession Discord, the links for all of which are in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Hi, this is Barney. Hey, Homer! And thank you for watching Cartoon Obsession.